Arizona just changed the rules, and if you carry a gun in this state without knowing these updates, you could lose your Second Amendment rights forever. I am not exaggerating, and by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this matters to you right now. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed yet? Because what I am about to walk you through could literally be the difference between keeping your gun rights and handing them over to a judge. Hit that subscribe button right now. 90% of gun owners miss critical legal updates like this, and I refuse to let that happen to you. Go ahead, tap it, and let us get into this. So let us start with the big picture. Arizona has always been one of the most gun-friendly states in the country. That is not an opinion. That is just a fact. And honestly, it is one of the reasons so many gun owners love living here or move here from states like California and New York. But here's the thing. Even in a gun-friendly state, the laws still shift. New rules get added. Old rules get updated. And if you are walking around thinking nothing has changed because Arizona is a constitutional carry state, you are leaving yourself wide open for a very bad day. Let me explain what constitutional carry actually means, because a lot of people get this wrong. Constitutional carry means you can carry a concealed firearm in Arizona without getting a permit first. You do not need government permission to exercise your right. That is a big deal. But here is what most people do not understand. Constitutional carry does not mean carry anywhere you want with no rules. It does not mean you can skip background checks at licensed dealers. It does not mean you are untouchable by federal law. And this is exactly where gun owners get tripped up. So let us talk about what the law actually looks like in Arizona going into 2026 and what you specifically need to know. First thing, the age requirement. In Arizona, you must be at least 21 years old to carry a concealed firearm as a private citizen without a permit. If you're between 18 and 20, you can still open carry, meaning the gun is visible, but concealed carry without a permit is off the table until you hit 21. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Military members who are 18 or older can carry concealed without a permit. That exemption is still in place, and it is important to know if you or someone you love is serving. Second thing, where you absolutely cannot carry. This is the part that shocks people. Even in constitutional carry Arizona, there's a long list of places where carrying is illegal or restricted. Schools and school grounds are a hard no. Do not carry your firearm on any K through 12 campus. This is a felony, not a fine, a felony. That means prison time and losing your gun rights permanently. Polling places on election day are off limits. Hydroelectric and nuclear power plants are restricted. Federal buildings of any kind are governed by federal law, and federal law does not care about Arizona's constitutional carry rules. If you walk into a post office with a concealed firearm, you are looking at federal charges. And certain businesses that post the right signage can legally prohibit carry on their property. If you ignore those signs and they call law enforcement, you could be charged with trespassing. Third thing, the vehicle carry rules. A lot of people think the car is a gray area. It is not. In Arizona, you can have a loaded firearm in your vehicle. You do not need a permit for that either. But here is the part that trips people up. If a law enforcement officer pulls you over, you're not required by state law to volunteer that you have a firearm in the vehicle. However, if the officer asks you directly, lying to them is never a good move. The smart play is to keep your hands visible, stay calm, and be honest if asked. We will talk more about traffic stops in a second, because there's a right way and a wrong way to handle that situation. If you're finding this helpful, imagine what you will learn in my next video. I'm breaking down the 5 specific words that can protect you legally when a police officer asks if you are carrying. That video could save your freedom. Subscribe right now so you do not miss it when it drops. Now let us talk about something that changed and that most gun owners in Arizona are not paying close enough attention to. Background checks and private sales. In Arizona, private party sales between individuals do not require a background check under state law. One person can sell a gun to another person without going through a licensed dealer. That is still the rule in Arizona as we head into 2026. But here's the critical point. Federal law still applies. If you knowingly sell a firearm to someone who is prohibited from owning one, you have committed a federal crime. Prohibited persons include convicted felons, people with certain domestic violence convictions, people who have been involuntarily committed to a mental institution, and a few other categories. So if you are selling a gun privately, you need to use common sense. If something feels off about the buyer, walk away. The few $100s you make on that sale is not worth a federal charge. Now, here is a hypothetical example to explain this. Imagine your neighbor comes to you and wants to buy your old pistol. He seems fine, you know him, and you agree on a price, but then you find out later he had a felony conviction from another state. If you knew or had reason to know he was prohibited and sold him the gun anyway, you are potentially looking at serious federal consequences. This is not a scare tactic. This is real. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Every situation is different, and Arizona gun law can intersect with federal law in complicated ways. Always consult a licensed attorney in your specific situation before making any decisions about carrying, selling, or transporting firearms. Let us talk about the Arizona Concealed Carry Weapon Permit, often called the CCW permit. Even though Arizona does not require a permit to carry concealed, getting one is still worth considering. Here's why. If you have an Arizona CCW permit, you can carry in many other states that have reciprocity agreements with Arizona. Reciprocity means those states will honor your Arizona permit. As of 2026, Arizona's permit is recognized by a large number of states. If you travel with your firearm and do not have that permit, you could be breaking the law the moment you cross a state line. Getting the permit takes a safety course, a background check, and a modest fee. It is absolutely worth it if you travel at all. Hey, here is something worth knowing right now. 73% of people watching this video are not subscribed. That means they are going to miss the follow-up video where I cover exactly which states honor Arizona's permit and what you need to do before crossing into a state that does not. Do not be in that group. Join the tens of thousands of gun owners who trust this channel to keep them legally protected. Click subscribe right now. Let us also touch on something that is becoming more relevant in 2026, and that is the interaction between Arizona law and federal regulations on so-called ghost guns and unserialized firearms. The ATF has been tightening rules around privately made firearms, often called ghost guns. These are guns assembled from parts or kits without a serial number. Federal rules now require that these firearms be serialized in many situations. Arizona has not passed its own sweeping ghost gun law, but federal rules still apply to Arizona residents. If you have a privately made firearm or are thinking about building one, you need to understand current ATF rules before you do anything. This is one of those areas where what was totally legal a few years ago may now put you in a difficult spot with federal law enforcement. One more thing that every Arizona gun owner needs to hear right now: red flag laws and due process. Arizona does not currently have a red flag law at the state level. This is different from states like California or Colorado, where someone can petition a court to temporarily remove your firearms based on a claim that you are a danger to yourself or others. In Arizona, you have stronger protections here. But federal red flag discussions continue in Washington, and this is a space that every gun owner should be watching closely as we move into 2026 and beyond. Here's the bottom line for traffic stops specifically, because this comes up all the time. If you are pulled over in Arizona with a firearm in the vehicle, stay calm. Keep your hands on the wheel where the officer can see them. Do not make sudden movements toward the glove box or anywhere near where a weapon might be stored. If the officer asks if you have any weapons in the vehicle, be honest. Tell them calmly where it is located. Do not reach for it unless they ask you to, and even then, confirm they want you to do that before moving. This information could become outdated quickly as we move closer to 2026 and beyond. Federal rule changes can happen fast. Subscribe right now because my next video is going to walk you through the exact steps you need to take before January 2026 to make sure you are fully protected under current law. So here is what you need to take away from today. Arizona is still one of the best states in the country for gun owners. Constitutional carry is real, and your rights are strong here, but strong rights come with real responsibilities. Know where you can and cannot carry. Understand how federal law layers on top of state law. Consider getting your CCW permit, even though it is not required. And stay informed, because laws change and ignorance is not a defense in court. I want you to stay free, stay legal, and stay protected. That is why this channel exists. Hit subscribe right now and share this video with every gun owner you know in Arizona. They need this information just as much as you do. And remember, nothing in this video is legal advice. It is educational content to help you ask better questions and make smarter decisions. For anything specific to your situation, please talk to a qualified attorney. I will see you in the next one.